It gives me huge pleasure to introduce Peter Cook, the Academy of Rock, to start the session of today. I'm always very encouraged as an ex-member of a mediocre, very mediocre rock band in the 60s, an ex-army officer who was always struggling to get out of his army uniform and get involved again with the rock environment. And also having been involved in the theatrical life for most of my time on this great world. I'm always very encouraged when I see that someone in the rock environment started life as a chemist. It's always very useful being a chemist in a rock environment. I won't tell you the obvious reason why, but I leave it to your own imagination. You will see from Peter's biography that he has had an extremely varied career, and he has a huge diversity within his portfolio. I've spoken enough. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome Peter Cook?
Indeed. Good morning to you all. Good morning. It's a sort of learning and development welcome. Try it again, rock and roll. Good morning. Good morning. Are you all right? Yes. The comparison between chemists and musicians, the only other thing I can think of to follow on with what Jack's talking about is Brian May, who of course is a well-known physicist and musician. But that's where the comparison between me and Brian May should stop. But following on from what he did say in a serious mode, why some organisations creatively adapt and learn and others don't. Now, he mentioned some other institutes with 140,000 approximate members. Of course, the smart move as you grow, and what BILD is trying to do, I think, is to sort of maintain a sense of smallness within being big. And if you can do that, of course, you can scale the organisation. The more usual route, of course, is to become huge and become monolithic. So I suppose this morning's session, which is temptingly titled Riffs and Myths of Creative Leadership, is about how you can stay nimble but get large, I suppose, is rather than ossify is the top line of the whole session. There will be an opportunity to participate in a planned way or indeed in another way. So if you want to heckle, then that's okay. I'm just going to check, see if this works. Well, we've done the introduction. I have a day job doing serious management consultancy and an evening job mixing music and rock music. We're doing the evening job in the day this morning, if that's not confusing. And if you want any of the slides, see me at tea time. We can send them all through via BILD if you want them. You have some copies available to scribble on, but we can make them all available if you so wish with additional links and resources. So we should start, shouldn't we? Yeah. Part one, creativity and business unplugged in, well, I think I had about 23 minutes. Can I have the full 30, do you reckon? Yeah, okay, well, we'll try and finish just on 10:30, around that sort of time. So what do we know about creativity? Come on, we are in a seat of learning. We're in the Open University, which I work for, so somebody must know the answer to that question. Well, let's start you off. Let's think about music and creativity to start with. You don't need to be a musician or have any notion of scales to get this. Here's the music lesson, which take about a minute to do. There are 12 intervals in 1 octave. I did some work for the Metropolitan Police for their Diplomatic Protection Corps, and their leader, whose name is CJ in initials, she plays the viola and she reads music, whereas I don't. I said, there are 12 notes in an octave, and she said, no, they're intervals. So if anyone's feeling like a musician in here, they will know the difference between that. If you're not a musician like me, then you don't care really, but just get this. 12 intervals, 1 octave. There are conventions in music, in Western music particularly, third part harmony, like the Beatles. Anyone think of other conventions in music, whether you're musical or not? Genres of music, things that go a certain way you expect them to go? 12-bar blues, yeah, that's it goes da-da-da-da-da-da. That's why people like Status Quo so much, because you know the song before you've heard it. Yeah, 3 chords and same chords and you're done. And of course the point about it, you can bend or break the conventions. There's the music lesson finished. There's probably a longer music lesson where we don't have time. So what is therefore a riff? I pose the question. What is a riff? Anyone can help me with that? A pattern, yes, and? Anyone study Latin at school? Did I hear the word ostinato coming from the back? You, sir. Did you say ostinato? You did, didn't you? What does that mean? Anyone else help us with that? Did I hear anyone say repeated chord progression, pattern, refrain, or melodic figure? Yes, of course. This, of course, is the dictionary definition of riffology, which actually isn't in a dictionary. It might be on Wikipedia now. Characteristic musical signature of Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and things like, Ravel's Bolero has a riff, doesn't it? Anyone want to sing that?
And everyone can join in.
Let's have a bit of clapping, please. He's bloody good, isn't he? I'm looking for you now. Wait a minute.
Well, I woke up this morning, the server was down, and the 6 fingers Starbucks and the sugar was brown. My CPD profile ain't too pleasing with all this quantitative easing. I just can't get the learning news. I got me the BILD blues.
Give him a bit of support. And get people to swap instruments from time to time, which introduces naivety. Now, you don't really want continuous naivety, but a degree of creative tension is necessary to provide learning and organisations that do so. And that big organisation that you mentioned is constantly eulogising about how to have a proper structure. Well, try not to have too much of a standard structure, and have structures that around the structure that support experimentation. The best way to learn about this is not to read a book about chaos, complexity and experimentation. The best way to do this is come to a jam session. So by way of finishing, we have 30 seconds. Oh no, how did that get in there? We'll just try the all together now line up of this. And then we're done. Oh. Sing. Sex in biz and rock and roll is all my brain and body needs. Sex in biz and rock and roll. You're ahead of it, very good indeed. Forget your paradigm or reconstruct the culture. Leave up fads and fashion, don't be a culture vulture. I will not wear the clothing of Sir Alan Sugar. Cut the crap acidity, no more business vinegar. We are very much done. That's it. If you want to read more, read it at the tea break. Thank you.